2-2, and you feel like the way the passage of this game has gone, it's the least that Allen deserves. Pins it first time this time, and we are back level at 2 apiece. On debut here at the Super Series, he gets the better of Neil Duff by 4 legs to 2. He missed the plethora of doubles in the first couple of legs, and that's why he's counting his lucky stars. But once he got going, he really settled with the task. He beats Neil Duff by 4 legs to 2. The scoring in the game was quite good. The finishing was something that he worked upon as the game went along. Next up, we're going to watch the defending champion kick off his defence as Scott Taylor takes on Adam Lipkin.
Scott, you require 97.
A game on the day, if the stars align and you happen to be in a rich vein of form when it comes round again 12 months later, or in Neil Duff's case, it was a lot longer, of course.
Taylor averaging 113.03 at this present moment in time. Numbers which are only going to go up.
180.
At the moment, this is an immaculate beginning of the defence of his title.
He's averaging 118.46.
42.
Tops.
Game shot.
There's nothing that's fazing him right now.
His personal best could be...
Average will dovetail to 111.
Yeah, had that either of those darts gone in, would have been... Oh, hello, double 10. Oh, super stuff from Adam Lipscomb.
Adam Lipscomb.
Now,
He started the defence of his title. This would be a great way to finish. Just drags underneath, clips off the barrel of the first.
140.
And Lipscomb, if he is to pull off the ultimate comeback, is going to have to find the fish. He wants another one of them, but he is not going to get a poke at the ball. And so Scott Taylor, the defending champion, to get his campaign off to a winning start, wants double 5. And the champion is up and running. And Scott Taylor has sent out a statement to the rest of the field. He has come back to reclaim his crown. 105.06 the average, 4 from 8 on the doubles. And at one point, the average was way in excess of 110, at times 115. Adam Lipscomb, despite the barrage that the defending champion put him in the first few legs, stuck with the task. He took it all the way. An average just under 95 wasn't enough in the end. Coming up after the break, the 2 ADC qualifiers, Nigel Lloyd and Jimi Hendricks. It's out in the next. Double 10. But Hendricks is back for the match. Hendricks is back for the win.
Required 41.
Lloyd fluffed his lines. Can Hendricks step in at 2 at 16s for a winning tune? No is the answer. 2 match starts have come and they have gone.
And so Lloyd to bring it back to 3-2 to keep Hendricks honest. How nicely is that pitched? Drags below, and so Hendricks is going to get one more opportunity to seal the match and to seal a debut win.
8. Is that in the way? I'm not quite sure what he's done there, but he's got to go up and over. What a dart that is, because much of the bed was blocked. But Jimi Hendricks seals a 4-1 win over Nigel Lloyd to get his group campaign off and running in some style. There's the numbers. 4 from 9 on the outer ring, 44%. 1 from 9 from Lloyd was his undoing. But coming up after the break, the reigning champion, Scott Taylor, will return.
That's his 9th missed dart.
Yeah, he's having a nightmare. And it continues. Should be.
Anthony required 32.
Done and dusted.
2 16s for the match. And it's 2 wins from 2 on debut for Anthony Allen, and he has won 8 legs in succession. He really is warming to the task here at the Super Series. Gets the better of a very uncharacteristically poor Scott Taylor there by 4 legs to 0. 82-36 and now 4 from 7 on the doubles. Prior to that game getting underway, Anthony Allen was an 11-4 outsider to win the match. Well, he's won it by 4 legs to 0. Next up, Jimi Hendricks against Neil Duff. Double 4. Doesn't
14.
go. Hendricks back for 4-0, and it would mean that he would have won 8 legs today for the concession of just a solitary leg. And Jimi Hendrix seals a 4-0 victory on the 2 bookmakers' favourite to go on and win this group have lost successive matches by the margin of 4-0. Jimi Hendrix with a rout over Neil Duff. A smile to the camera as well. He's getting used to these staging and environment. An 86 average to win 4-0 against the WDF World Champion of 2022, Neil Duff. And Litzen's going to get 2 more to take us to leg 7. Double 4 isn't found, and the first one really did graze the wire.
20.
Well, Nigel Lloyd cannot say he hasn't had his chances to win this match. Double 5. Will get him over the line and get his first win here at the Live Lounge. Adam Lipkin once again puts in a decent performance, but there's nothing to show for it. They're getting used to the camera, these players, aren't they? Nigel Lloyd, a little celebration, 85 average. 4-2 against Adam Lipkin in a good contest, that, between the pair. Coming up next, Alan Hendricks. Got 6 starts from here to do exactly that.
2 8s. Beautiful.
Shown the second leg.
1 apiece.
Jimi Hendrix.
Double 16 for a hat-trick of victories to kickstart his Super Series campaign. Anthony Allen with 3 wins from 3. That one a bit more hard-fought against Jimi Hendrix. A 4-3 success, 2 points that both players really had to work hard for. But it is Allen who gets over the line. A 4-3 win for him. Coming up next, we've got the champ in action. Scott Taylor against Nigel Lloyd. He comes back in now. He's going to have that tag of champion. A champion response, a 14 darter, 97 out for this visit.
Oh, good recovery.
Game short man of the match.
And that is a win for the champ. Scott Taylor, a 4-2 victory against Nigel Lloyd. He gets over the line. A 4-2 victory, a 92 average in the end. He's managed to haul his average up. He beats Nigel Lloyd in a last leg decider. By 4 legs to 2. Let's get into the next match. It's Duff against Lipkin.
Well, ends up on tops anyway. A wry smile.
Tops after 12. Duff has made the push to the line when he needed to. And the reigning double trouble champion is off the mark. He gets the better of Adam Lipkin by 4 legs to 1. And as he shook the hand of the referee, Owen Binks, it was almost disconsolate. Because once again, he's had opportunities in a game and he hasn't taken advantage of them. 13 missed darts and a double. Duff, 88-61. It was better than that when you consider the barrage of missed doubles at the midway point of the match. It's a 4-1 win for him. Coming up next, Hendricks Taylor.
Scott, you require
for the match. 48 for the champ. The favourite.
28.
Wait, half of those puncture marks on the double 10 are from Scott Taylor's darts. Hendricks been given another opportunity, another stay of execution. Just about finds a way up to tops. But that
36.
lagged low. And so Taylor is back for double 10 for a 4-1 win. And in the end, Taylor gets over the line. He is still bitterly frustrated with the way that he's playing. However, the crucial thing for Scott Taylor is he is accruing the wins. 3 of them now for the defending champion. Average in the 90s, 4th and 12. But you get the sense that he has got so many more gears to go. So the champ with a win over Hendricks by 4 legs to 1. 120 for Allen. Looking to climb the ladder. To the top rung. Leg one. Perfectly done.
Anthony Allen.
1-0 to Allen with the break. To leave a finish after 12 darts. Litzen can only set up from here and hope the 1-2-1 doesn't go. That's some way to set up. And suddenly the complexion of this deciding leg changes. From favourite, this is must go. It's a dart of the bull.
96.
And Adam Litzen has waited all day for an opportunity like this. An opportunity to pick up a win.
11.
But the opportunity has come and it's gone.
Anthony required 25.
To extend his lead at the top of the table. But he's busted, he's hit the treble. Can you believe it?
Adam, you require 40.
Beyond belief. And now Litzen can step in. And finally get the win. And look at the relief on Baby Boy's face as he gets over the line against Anthony Allen in a last leg decider by 4 legs to 3. Allen had bust the 25 with the first start as he approached the match-winning opportunity. But Litzen is finally in the winner's enclosure. He gets over the line. He beats Anthony Allen by 4 legs to 3. And so we're going to take a break. Next up, Lloyd Duff.
Now we require 101.
That leaves 44. Pick your double. It's tops.
Game shot in the second
Perfectly
leg.
pinned, 1-1.
Duff.
Yeah, very clinical leg from Duff.
Neil Duff has a superstition where he has to keep a certain amount of change in his pocket.
Is that right?
I can't remember the exact amount, but he has to keep an exact amount of change
job for the afternoon for you.
in his pocket when he plays.
I wonder if it's £1.80.
It could be a 1-4-1 for the match. It doesn't go.
109.
Oh, great recovery on dart 3 to leave 32.
98 for the match. And for Nigel Lloyd, his second victory of the day. Look for the treble 18, doesn't get it. And so
58.
Neil Duff, after what has been a
32.
torrid start to the day, he lost his first 2. But now it's 2 on the bounce for the Duff man.
Neil Duff.
As Neil Duff gets the better of Nigel Lloyd in a last leg decider. 4-3, Neil Duff, the victor there. And he is beginning to build up a head of steam. That average in excess of 90. He is improving as the day went along. As for Nigel Lloyd, well, it felt like maybe opportunity missed when he took it all the way. But Duff, the victor in that particular match. Right, we're heading to the final round of fixtures now with Lipkin and Hendricks coming up next.
161.
Nick Kenny picking up a win against the Italian Michel Toretta.
Game shot in the first leg.
And that was absolutely superb. He went down to go up and then found a way in. It's a 1-6-1 for Lipkin, and we have lift off.
$140.
Well, that top 40 there leaves Lipkin on a 2-darter to win the match. Hendricks on a 2-darter to save the match. And it would be for a break.
Went for the 2 double 18s.
38.
Right on the outside wire. Macy, 2 tops incoming.
He's found the first. He's found the second to win it in ton-topping style. A superb performance from Adam Lipkin. He is putting performance after performance, but the results never yielded right until the very end. A 93.86, 2-ton plus checkouts. It started with a 1-6-1. It ended with a ton. And it ends with Lipkin the victor over Jimi Hendrix by 4 legs to 1. 2 more games to go. It's the heavyweight clash next as Duff takes on Taylor. Is it going to end with a 4-0 win against Neil Duff?
Wow.
92.
Interesting play.
He's going to come back for a couple at tops when he returns for a 4-0 victory.
100. Scott, you require 54.
It's been a trying day for the champ. But Scott Taylor is 4 from 5 and the defending champion kicks off his defence with a rock-solid day. He gets the better of Neil Duff by 4 legs to 0, doing so with a 91.09 average, 4 from 10 when it came to the doubles. That is the moniker of consistency. So Scott Taylor, the champion, rounds off his day with a 4-0 victory against Neil Duff.
Just left himself a little vulnerable with a 60.
58. Nigel, you require 126.
Well, it doesn't need to chase the 19s here and overcomplicate things. That's the risk.
82.
At least recovered to leave himself on a single to double combination. Hasn't been a vintage last game, but it'll be a win nonetheless. And importantly, a margin of victory as well. The biggest margin of victory we got here. Double 16 for the match. And what would be a routine 4-0 win.
28.
Well, we've seen one today from Lipscomb. Can Alan replicate that feat?
No is the answer.
33.
3 now for Lloyd at double 8 to wrap it up full zip. Won't do his leg
60.
difference any harm, Henry.
Not at all. There's been a lot to be impressive from both players today on their debut at the Super Series. But it is Nigel Lloyd who wins the last game of the session. He beats Anthony Allen by 4 legs to 0. Allen, who kick-started the day with victory over Neil Duff, it ends a defeat to Nigel Lloyd. And so the pair share an embrace at the end of that battle. Nigel Lloyd winning by 4 legs to 0 at the end of the first day's play here in Group A in week 4. Myself and Mate are going to make the trip next door to the studio to assess all of the action on the other side of this short break. Well, he picked up the trophy, didn't he, a few weeks ago, and he's kick-started his defence with 4 victories. Scott Taylor getting his campaign to retain the title up and running. Myself and Chris Mace have been watching all of the action today, and these are the 15 games that we have watched for you. It kicked off with a win for Anthony Allen, it ends with a win for Nigel Lloyd, but it wasn't quite as academic as that at times, was it?
No, the one result that stands out there, Anthony Allen beating Scott Taylor 4-0, which is a puzzling performance from Scott Taylor. Averaged sort of mid-70s, something that we don't see very often from him, but he showed bounce-back ability, 4 real solid averages, all in excess of 90, and of course that wonderful opening game where he averaged over 105.
Yeah, 105 against Adam Litzen, who himself averaged in the mid-90s. It was an incredible battle between the pair. I mean, you just felt kicking off with an average like that, we expected him to kick on. Yes, he had that little bit of a struggle in game 2, but actually towards the end of the day, he got back to the levels that saw him win that Champions Week.
Yeah, I think when you have a performance like that, you try to better it, and you can sometimes fall into the trap. And ironically, that mid-70s average came on the back of the 105, and had he hit the double earlier on in this particular match, he would have had an average in excess of 110 and beaten his personal best. So his game looks in good nick. He handled the day very well despite the disappointment of losing that game 4-0. And he's where I expected him to be in the table, on top.
He got the better of Neil Duff in the last game of the session. Do you think that could be a pivotal win, because we expect Neil to make some moves tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's a tough ask. It's a horrible game to start your day off against Scott Taylor, but he'll be ready. And as we've seen before with Neil Duff, he knows how to play himself into form. Not sure how much practice he'd have had coming into this week. We know he was in action in the Isle of Man the weekend before, so yeah, it's pretty much what we expect with Neil Duff. He just finds small increments of improvements, and he's like an old steam train. He's got to get ahead of speed up, and then he tends to improve and puts himself in the mix.
And we saw it when he won the double start week a couple of weeks ago, in the respect that the Group A didn't quite go to plan. He dropped into Group C, and even the first day of that didn't go to plan. But as it got to the crunch of the week, he played his best darts.
Yeah, I think he just finds a way. This format allows you to play without pressure because you know, oh, well, I lose this game, I'll just win the next one. And I think for Neil, there needs to be some kind of jeopardy. There needs to be something on it to get the best out of him, and that probably makes him focus a lot more when, you know, he's used to playing knockout darts. Some people thrive on that pressure of it. Listen, this is, I'm either in or I'm out. This format can sometimes be tricky for players that need that bit of adrenaline.
What would be your overall assessment of Anthony Allen's first day here at the Super Series?
Yeah, impressed me. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I've had a good look over his previous numbers and his sort of average, and I have to be honest, I thought he'd find it a struggle, but him and Nigel have played very, very well, to be honest. I'm impressed with them both.
And as far as Adam Lipscon's concerned, we said it in commentary, this is probably the best that we've ever seen him play over a 5-game haul here at the Super Series, and boy did he run into the performances along the way.
Yeah, he walked into a few today, didn't he, unfortunately, and that's the way it can go sometimes, and you sort of feel, why me? I had it plenty of times in my career where I'd walk into a player that was struggling for performance, never mind results, and then out of the blue they average 100, and you think, well, why me? You know, and then not replicate that in the next game, and that had been how he'd have been feeling when he was watching Scott Taylor today, who on the back of the big average was absolutely ordering the next game. But he's got a good mind for the game. He doesn't get too bogged down with disappointment. He doesn't get emotionally invested. He just goes through the process and stick to the task at hand.
Let's have a look at the table, and to a certain extent, are we none the wiser after day one?
Yeah, no, really. We sort of day one can be anything. You know, you can't win it on day one, but you can certainly put yourself out of the mix. I expected Scott Taylor to if not win 5 out of 5 today, win 4 out of 5. I think the surprise there is Anthony and Nigel, who we all sort of thought would struggle, but when you look at that table, there's still plenty to play for. I think Scott Taylor wins the group. He's favourite, 6-5 favourite for a reason. He's the current champion and looks in good form. I think what we expected would be Neil Duff and probably Jimi Hendricks down to experience to make up positions 2 and 3. But the players, all the players involved there will fancy a tilt again in Group B.
And when you consider Scott Taylor at times today got very frustrated, you kind of sense he's going to come with a bee in his bonnet tomorrow. Yeah,
but when he's frustrated, it doesn't necessarily affect his game play. He's a character that lets you know what he's thinking, but it doesn't impact on his level of play. And we've seen that today, although not at his best after that big average, can average 90 in Gear 3.
Well, day one done and dusted. We do it all again tomorrow?
We do.
Right, I shall see you tomorrow. We shall see you tomorrow as well. 9:30 a.m. the coverage gets underway on the Super Series YouTube channel for day 2. Well, old habits resume as far as the champion is concerned. Scott Taylor, 4 wins from 5. He's got his campaign underway and off to a good start. Bye from us.